Hello everybody, it's Jeff, and welcome to the first ever Benched Mock Draft 1.0. Today we're doing it on Be the GM, NFL mock draft database, draft simulator, and this one, has trades and all that stuff. So we have it set up for trades, but we only have it set up for the first round, right? So I'll just be switching the first round picks. I won't be adding in future picks with that, right? Keep it simple for the first one, get the ball moving. So up first we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They may have made a big splash in free agency. They went out and got a few new toys for their next up and coming superstar quarterback, right, that they're going to be taking. They got him a couple receivers. And truthfully, yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence has been the lock at one since I think last year, right? And the Jags would be not a wise move if they don't take Trevor Lawrence here at one. And so with the #1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence goes at 1. Now, this is where I say the draft actually begins. Right, this is the actual draft now, because we all know Trevor Lawrence was going 1, right? But with the Jets, we're not sure what the Jets are gonna do, right? They can take Zach Wilson here at quarterback, sit him behind Darnold, or they can trade Darnold and take Zach Wilson here anyways. Or they could be like, you know what, we're gonna keep Darnold. We're gonna see what he can do with the new toys we're getting him, with the new personnel we have behind him, and we could help him with either a receiver here, an offensive lineman here, maybe some defensive help here. But truthfully, I think they are going to take Zach Wilson from BYU. He can throw, he's mobile, so I think they cut ties with Darnold. They send him somewhere for, a 3rd rounder this year or a 2nd rounder, but I see them taking Zach Wilson here at #2. Up next, we have the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Miami Dolphins, they need help for Tua, right? And I know they have Parker and they have Grant, but they have really they're ready to let Tua shine, right? I think they're setting up for Tua. I know they signed Taylor, right? But truthfully, if I'm the Dolphins here, I'm taking Jamar Chase at 3, right? I'm giving Tua that big receiver that he can throw the ball to. I'm letting Tua kind of develop a little bit more. And with Jamar Chase, I think that's a good combination. Jamar Chase is the best receiver in this draft. And him going here is my no-brainer. At 4, we have the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Falcons are in a sticky situation because they still have Matt Ryan, but they could go and get a quarterback for the future, right? They want a quarterback of the future. I don't think they're sold with a quarterback of the future. But do they want to take one here? We still have Justin Fields there. We have Trey Lance still. I just don't think they are. I don't think they are interested in taking a quarterback right now. And truthfully, I could see them trading out with a team that could use a quarterback, like say Carolina, the Broncos, the Niners, and the Patriots, right? I don't know if the Patriots are willing to give up all that real estate to get up to 4, but we could have the Panthers trade, and I think that's going to be our first trade of the day. Is going to be the Falcons. Where are they? ATL, there we go. Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. we're just gonna swap 4 or firsts, boom, just there. I mean, of course, the Panthers would give up maybe a third or so, you know, just so you guys know. But for the sake of the video, we're just doing the first round, okay? So on the clock, we now have the Carolina Panthers, and the Carolina Panthers are sitting there, and they're taking Justin Fields at 4. At 5, Penei Sewell, best offensive lineman in this draft class, and I think he's one of the best offensive linemen to come out of football in a few years. And so the Bengals are in need. They got to keep Joe Burrow. They got to keep their superstar quarterback healthy. They got to keep him up. And this helps the rest of the game, you know, gives Joe Burrow time to throw the ball, gives Mixon time, you know, the holes he needs, because Penei Sewell can do a lot of things. It's not just, you know, pass blocking. The kid can run block, right? He's athletic. He's like a Mack truck, right? And so here at 5, take a Penei Sewell. At 6, we have the Eagles. Now the Eagles, I think they have a few things they can go here. They can go defense because they've lost a few guys. They can go offense because they need a few guys, right? Now here, I think they're going to take Kyle Pitts. Now here, Kyle Pitts, I know it says tight end. I think they're going to trade Zach Ertz. But to be fair, Kyle Pitts is I classify him as a receiver. I swear Kyle Pitts is the 3rd best receiver on my board as it is now. And they trade Zach, maybe get a few picks back, you know, like in the later rounds, 2nd rounder, 3rd rounder, you know, whatever they can get from other teams. But Kyle Pitts, he's a tight end that plays like a receiver. So you line him up. DBs can't cover him because he's too big, and linebackers can't run with him because he's too athletic, right? So it's a nightmare matchup for other team defenses with Kyle Pitts. And I think it's a good fit there. Could help free up some space for Jalen Reagor to get over the top. And, you know, with Hurts, now the quarterback, you know, Hurts can like extend the play a little bit. These guys can get open. And I think Kyle Pitts is going to benefit a lot there from being there in Philly. At 7, we have the Lions. Now, the Lions are not going to sign Kenny Galladay. I'm sorry, they're not going to do it. They already haven't done it. I don't know who will sign Kenny Galladay. But Devonta Smith, I think, is going to be his replacement. And Jared Goff gets a nice little toy there. He kind of fits the same scheme that they played there in Los Angeles. You know, line him up in the slot. Couple underneath passes here and there. Now we come to the Falcons. Now the Falcons here at 8 traded back, and they still can get their quarterback that they wanted, right? Replacement Trey Lance here at 8. They acquired a few more picks, and now they have their quarterback of the future here at 8. 9, we have the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, I don't think will go quarterback this year. They could, but I think they're gonna truthfully give Drew Lock a little bit more time this year to see if he's what they want. And here they could go defense. They don't need receiver. They have pretty much one of the best receiving core in football if they can stay healthy. So I predict that they're gonna go one of the 2 cornerbacks here, Caleb Farley and Patrick Surtain. But I'm leaning more towards Caleb Farley. Caleb Farley's that one guy that you can just sit there and be like, hey, that's their best receiver. Go stop him from catching the ball, right? He has great ball hawk ability. And so, yeah, Caleb Farley, 9 to the Broncos. And at 10, I have the Cowboys. My Cowboys taking Patrick Surtain, pairing him with Diggs, getting their cornerback duo for the next few years. And, yeah, Surtain, I think, is much needed help there in Dallas. On the clock, we have the New York Giants, and the Giants have they went and got Ross, right? But they need a little bit more help for Daniels over there. They're gonna get Saquon back. So why not go out and get yourself a receiver that can, you know, catch the ball in the middle, not afraid of trap. He's fast. You know, I know he didn't play much this year due to injury, but pair Jalen Waddle with John Ross, and I think you have yourself a pretty good receiving duo over there in New York with the Giants. And so yeah, we have the Giants taking Waddle at 11, and at 12 here is the Niners. Now the Niners have a few things they could do, right? The Niners here at 12 are sitting here, they like, we need a quarterback, but we're not in need of a quarterback, right? I mean, they could take quarterback here. They could take defensive help. They could take offensive help. I know they lost Bourne to free agency, but they did sign Trent Williams. They have their left tackle. They did sign Alex Mack, so they have their center, right? They got a linebacker in Ebukam. So truthfully here, I think the Niners are sitting here and they could do whatever they want, right? But I'm a big fan of trades, and I really do think that a trade happens here, and I think the Niners trade with, who is it? Where are they? New England. Boom, boom, right? We just swapping picks here. And of course, the Niners would get compensation in the 3rd round or so. But that'll be our trade. And now we have the Patriots at 12. And I really do think the Patriots are all in on Mac Jones, right? I think they saw what they liked in him. He's good. I watched him in the Senior Bowl make throw after throw during the practice. He did get an ankle injury. I think he got rolled up on by one of the linebackers, and so for precaution, he didn't play the actual game. But he looked really good. He made pretty much every throw. It was great watching him, and I think the Patriots draft Mac Jones. They sit him behind Cam Newton and then mold him into maybe the next Tom Brady, you know, maybe someone who can take over the reins there for the next decade in New England, right? Yeah, so we have Mac Jones at 12. Then we have the Chargers at 13. Now the Chargers are in a predicament here where they can take their best available player, right? They can take someone they need. They could take Micah Parsons, get a little linebacker help for Joey Bosa, but I really do think they are all in on keeping Justin Herbert up. And what better player to do that than Rashawn Slater, right? You put Rashawn Slater on that offensive line, and now your offensive line is a road grader, right? They are going to just maul people. Rashawn Slater, you don't know who he is, go back and watch Northwestern versus Ohio State and watch him just take Chase Young out of the play, right? He just literally removes him from that whole day, right? Chase Young had one of the worst games he ever played against Rashawn Slater, and I think that is a huge upgrade there in the Chargers camp, drafting Rashawn Slater, and they're all in on keeping Herbert up. They got some good young running backs, so it's going to be interesting to see. At 14, we have the Minnesota Vikings, right? Now here, the Vikings are interesting because they need defensive line help. They were atrocious last year. They didn't get after the quarterback as much as they wanted to. But I really do think we see a run of tackles or offensive linemen go here, and I think they're shoring up that offensive line to help their quarterback, to help that insane run game they have. Because I mean, Cook is just crazy. They got the nice young receiver. They just need time to get him the ball, right? But I think they take Darisaw here and worry about defensive line later. Now up next we have the Niners. Now the Niners are sitting here at 15 after the trade, and I think the Niners are looking at it and they're wondering what to take, because the Niners right now have where's my list? So the Niners, like I said, they signed some guys, but they lost a few guys, right? In free agency. They could take a corner here because you know, Sherman getting a little old. He's a free agent. I don't see them signing him again. They could take Micah Parsons, help out that linebacking core. They could take J.C. Horn, or they could go and just sign or take an offensive lineman, right? But here, I think, truthfully, I think the Niners are willing to, they got to replace the receiver help that they lost. And I think with doing that, I think they take Rashad Bateman from Minnesota here, right? Young receiver, fast, can go up and get the ball. And, you know, I think they're gonna stay with Jimmy G there for at least one more year. And they have a few more picks with trading back. They could acquire, you know, some help on the defensive side. Defensive line is rich this year. There are so many defensive line players available in this draft that I think they can take their best offensive weapon in the draft and, you know, worry about defensive line in the later round, in the second round or so. Up next, we have the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Arizona Cardinals they've made a few big splashes in free agency. This will be the first year that Larry Fitzgerald has tested free agency, so it's kind of crazy to see him, you know, on the market. They did get J.J. Watt. They did lose Kenyon Drake. Patrick Peterson went to Miami, or not Miami, Minnesota. Hassan Reddick to Carolina. Prater, they did get Prater, and they did get AJ Green, right? I mean, truthfully, if I'm the Cardinals, you gotta help protect. You have to protect your young quarterback, right? I think he's been sacked 72 times in the last 2 years, right? Something like that. And why not go out and get the big offensive lineman, Vera Tucker from USC? He's big, he's mean. I think he bolsters that line. I think he makes that line so much more better. Over there in Arizona, helps keep your quarterback up, and that is never a bad thing, right? So on the clock, we now have the Raiders. Now the Raiders, their defense is atrocious, right? They got guys missing assignments. I think the only productive player on that defense was Crosby. And truthfully, with Crosby, I think you pair him with Micah Parsons, or you could pair him with Kwity Paye. I'm choosing Kwity Paye on this one. I think if you have Kwity Paye and Mason or Max Crosby over there on the other end. I think you now have one of the most dynamic pass rushes in the NFL. And that's exactly what they need, because your cornerbacks are having trouble covering, your safeties losing assignments, right? So why not take away the extra time the quarterback has by drafting another playmaking defensive end pass rusher that can get to the quarterback, right? So up next, we have the Dolphins here. Sorry, mind blank. We have the Dolphins here at 18, right? And they have a few choices here. They could go well, truthfully, they don't have a few choices. They could go offensive lineman, but they can also go defense. And I think they go defense here. I think they take the best available linebacker in the draft. Micah Parsons at 18 is a steal. And now that defense which was really good last year, just gets that much better this year, right? And with the addition of Micah Parsons, I think that defense is just going to be top 10. At 19, we have the Washington football team. Man, so the Washington football team, they are in some need of a lot of things, right? They lost, well, they didn't lose, but they got Fitzpatrick, right? Fitzmagic, we all know what he could do. And so with Fitzmagic being there, they could get, they don't need help on the defensive line. They have one of the best defensive lines in football, right? They did sign William Jackson from Cincinnati, so they did get that cornerback help that they needed. Curtis Samuels, they got a receiver that could go or pair nicely with Scary Terry over there. They lost Ronald Darby, and they lost Pierre Lewis, right? Offensive or outside linebacker. So here, why not here just go and get someone that can help bolster your team, right? And with that player, I'm saying Owusu, Jeremiah Owusu Barrymore right here from Notre Dame. He's one of my favorite players in this draft. I thought I really was thinking he was going to go higher. He's fast, he plays hard, and he seems to always find the ball, right? And I think with adding JOK, that defense becomes one of the top 10, because now you have JOK in the middle of the field, you have a pretty good corner in Jackson, and then you have that defensive line. Man, that defense is becoming very scary, right? And so yeah, we have Washington taking JOK. Up next, we have the Chicago Bears. Now, the Chicago Bears are in need of a lot of help. They currently need a quarterback. They need receiver help. They need maybe a little bit of defensive line help. They did sign Andy Dalton, but I mean, come on now. Come on. They did lose Mitch Trubisky. Possibly, I think he went to Buffalo. So, I mean, they need some help, right? Khalil Mack, you have Khalil Mack over there. But why not go and get someone that can change the dynamic of a game, right? Someone that can take the ball out of the hands of the other team, right? And I'm talking about JC Horn. Okay, they have right now the cornerbacks on that team are where are the Bears? Here they are. So right now the cornerbacks on that team are Kyle Fuller and Jalen Johnson, right? You have JC Horn sitting there. Why not go and pick him up, right? he's probably, I mean, definitely the third best corner in the draft this year, but he's good. He's gonna definitely bolster your defense with a defense that is probably going to be on the field a lot, because I don't see, unless they get a quarterback change over there, I do not see Andy Dalton succeeding all that much. They could try and go and get a receiver, but it's a bit of a reach for me here. They could trade out, possibly. They could also go and get an offensive lineman, but with JC Horn sitting there, why not take him? Why not take him, right? So we have JC Horn going 20 overall to the Chicago Bears. Up next, we have the Colts. Now, the Colts are in need of defense, right? They just went and got Wentz. They have that really good receiving core that they have there, the young receivers. So, you know, why not go out and get yourself a nice upgrade, or not an upgrade. I don't want to say an upgrade, but replacement for Autry, right? Why not go out and get a replacement for that? Go get you some more defensive help since you just lost him. And truthfully, I think taking Jalen Phillips here is definitely something they could do. You know, they go and get that help there. I know Gregory Rousseau is still on the board, but I like Jalen Phillips. I think he is a nightmare off the edge. And so, yeah. But up next, we have the Tennessee Titans. And the Tennessee Titans have literally let go of all their defensive secondary, right? They did sign Bud Dupree. They did lose Jonnu Smith, Corey Davis. They do have Autry, and they did get Lamb, right? So they're not doing too bad, but they're going to be in need of a little bit of help, especially with the loss of Davis, right? Corey Davis was a big playmaker, and same Jonnu Smith, right? You have to replace those two. And with replacing them, you can either go and select where are they at? A receiver, or you can go and select a tight end. We still have Pat here. Who else? Receivers here. Here are available receiver. Kadarius Toney. Truthfully, I don't think they do take that as of right now. I think they can possibly get something in the second round. They could also go for, let me bring up the defense real quick. Their defensive backs, they're in need of defensive backs, right? But I just don't want to take a reach on any of them that are here. I mean, we still have a few good ones, but Gregory Rousseau here, I think, could pair off well, help out that defensive line, line them up on the other side of Autry, and you get yourself a really good defensive player at 22 that could have went above you, or could have went higher. And so up next, we have the Jets. Now, the Jets are drafting second, right? Now the Jets here, since they took Zach Wilson, they're gonna need to pair someone to protect Zach Wilson, right? And where is he? Samuel Cosmi, right? Or Cosmi from Texas. That dude is a monster. I don't know if any of you guys saw the pro days from Texas or anything like that, but the dude is a beast. You put him out there, you pair him, you move Mekhi Becton to the right tackle spot. You have Sam play on the left, and you now have bookends there for your new young quarterback in Zach Wilson. And you're looking good, right? And so up next, after that, we have the Steelers. Now the Steelers, I don't know. I really do think that they need to move on from Roethlisberger. I don't think he is their answer. Some of their free agencies that they picked, the guys they picked up, they did lose Bud Dupree. They lost Mike Hilton at corner. Right tackle they lost, but they did get EJ Finley. So they're in need of a few things on offense and a lot of things on defense, right? The loss of Bud Dupree is really going to hurt them. And I think here you have to take the next of, like, you have to take someone that truthfully can keep your quarterback up, right? They lost some offensive linemen. And with that being said, where is he? Jalen. I'm looking for you, Jalen. Jalen Mayfield, right? Offensive tackle from Michigan. Mauler. I think they need to start building from the line out. And they need to give as much help as possible to Roethlisberger while they still have him, because when he's gone, they're going to be starting over and you're going to be throwing a fresh quarterback in there, and that offensive line needs to be at its best for it to prevail, right? So up next, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars' second pick in the first round. And here I think Jacksonville can just take whoever they think is right for them at the time, right? And so we have go back to all. Here I have them taking safety help Trevon. I actually really like this guy from TCU. He's big, fast. I mean, like, tall and lanky is what I mean by big, but big, fast, and he's not afraid to go up and try and get the ball. And I think that's what they need there in Jacksonville. They're definitely in rebuild mode there, but I think they're going the right way. And next we have the Cleveland Browns, who are the big the big winners from there. They had a great year this year. I think they're only going to get better, and I think they take Christian Barrymore, defensive lineman from Alabama. They have definitely played free agency pretty well. I know they took John Johnson, Terrence Mitchell left though, Kendall Lamb left. They did get McKinley, the defensive end. Rashawn Higgins did re-sign there. So here, I think they can afford to take a defensive lineman here in Christian Barrymore, who I think is the best defensive tackle in this draft this year. They do have Sheldon Richardson, and but pairing him with Sheldon Richardson in that 4-3, or not Sheldon Richardson, um, Ogunjobi, who they took in the 3rd round last year. I think they could replace him. So I think he's a good fit there. They go for defensive line help to help out Myles Garrett, who needs help there. And yeah, you get a good defensive lineman in Barrymore. Up next, we have the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Baltimore Ravens lost their big linebacker in Judon. And so I think they need to replace him. They did get offensive line help as well. So, you know, they could go receiver here. They could go any of that. But I think they're going to take Azeez Ojulari. They're going to get that edge rush that they need. And they'll be perfectly fine. I think they're going to move on with Judon, without Judon, really well. And yeah, they got to start worrying now about paying Lamar Jackson. Up next, we have the Saints. Now, the Saints, I don't know what the Saints are going to do. They did lose Drew Brees, and their 2 quarterbacks now are Bridgewater, or not Bridgewater, but Winston and Hill. I don't woo, that's not something I would like to be, you know, bragging about. I mean, maybe Winston is there, but they definitely need help on that defensive side of the ball. Other than, I think it was Lattimore, that defense struggled. And I think they could take safety here, corner here, but it's all up to the chance. But truthfully, I think they definitely take where is he? Greg Newsome here. They go and get that extra cornerback help, because if you guys have talked to me weeks ago, or you know, a month ago, if I'm the Saints, I'm trying to trade Lattimore. I'm trying to get out of that big contract. You know, I'm trying to get extra draft picks. I'm trying to trade out, and possibly Lattimore could be that one trading. So Newsome could be a nice replacement there for that trade. So, you know, who knows? Up next, we have the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, they did pretty well. They signed Aaron Jones still. Who else did they? They signed Aaron Jones. They lost Lindsley. They did lose Jamal Lewis or Williams, Kirksey, Boyle. So, I mean, out of all the free agents, they really haven't signed too many people. Actually, they haven't. Well, I mean, like I said, they signed Jones, but here I think they need their defense is very, very bad, right? And I know it's terrible to say, but where is he? Oh, Asante Samuel here at 45. You could take Asante Samuel, shore up that defense, that cornerback. Asante Samuel is a beast. You don't need running back help at all. You could take Owa to help out with the edge, but I mean, at 45 or at 28, I would take a chance at taking maybe Asante Samuel Jr. If he's anything like his dad, that's a home run, right? Like if he shows anything like his dad was, then it's a no-brainer, right? Up next we have the Buffalo Bills, who were my beasts on the East. I really did think they were gonna take or go to the Super Bowl. I really thought they could beat Kansas City. Alas, they lost, but they did sign Emmanuel Sanders. They did lose Andre Roberts, though, to Houston. Mac Hack, the punter they got, they lost. John Brown, Quentin Jefferson. They did get Mitch Trubisky. And so, I mean, could they use some receiver help there? Maybe. But I think they're perfectly fine with losing Roberts and John Brown and getting Samuels. The only thing is John Brown's speed could come later and be like, oh, they could be missing that. But you could easily replace that speed with one of the fastest receivers I've seen in this draft this whole time in Kadarius Toney, right? So that would be a great replacement from for John Brown, and you're basically that's basically like getting yourself your own Tyreek Hill right there. Right now, you have your own version of Tyreek Hill. In Toney, I loved watching Toney in the Senior Bowl, Pro Days, and during the year, man, the dude is just like a human joystick. He's wild. He's crazy. He can make a 5-yard pass or catch into a 50-yard touchdown run, right? So up next, now we get into basically the two teams that one needs a lot of help, one could use a little bit of help, right? So truthfully, if I am the Chiefs, knowing what I did this year, I am taking me an offensive lineman. They let go of both of their tackles, right? And they need some help. Now, watching Leatherwood, I watched a lot of Leatherwood in the Senior Bowl, and I don't know if it was just jitters or what, but he did not impress me. He was getting beat a lot, and I was not very impressed with him. So here I do have them taking Kevin Jenkins here. I think they haven't gone after yet. They haven't replaced that offensive line. Seeing what the Bucs did to them in the Super Bowl, how they could not keep Patrick Mahomes upright. The linemen just could not block. And I was saying it for the whole year, that if you could get to Patrick Mahomes, you could beat the Chiefs. And that's what happened, because the Chargers showed glimpses of getting to Patrick Mahomes and they almost beat them, right? Twice. So now the Bucs did it. Now they're Super Bowl champs, right? So it goes to show you have to be able to protect your quarterback, right? You can have a $500 million quarterback, but if he ain't got time to throw the ball, he's not going to be able to throw the ball, right? You can't win the game that way. So I think they go out and get themselves an offensive lineman to help Patrick Mahomes stay upright. And truthfully, now we have the Buccaneers sitting here. And, Tom Brady, after celebrating, tossing the Lombardi trophy from boat to boat. They did sign Barrett to a big deal, Ryan Suckup, Rob Gronkowski. So they're looking pretty good right now. And they can just basically take whoever they want. But I really do think they're going to be looking for a replacement for on the defense. And I think that they could take a chance on defense here. I mean, you still have Collins, linebacker, and with taking a chance here, you could have them come in situational. Right now they don't have, I'm looking right now, they have Devin White, Levante David, Jason Pierre-Paul, who plays, left in most of the time. They have him as linebacker here. and Shakir Barrett. They're in need of a defensive tackle, but reaching on one at this stage right here, I don't think is wise. They could go out and maybe pick up a cornerback, but still, linebacker I think is going to be. They don't need one per se because they have some good guys on the team now. Edge rusher, they could take Joseph Osei or Jason Owa, but I really do think they might go edge rusher here. Jason Pierre-Paul is getting a little old. They have William Golston getting a little there, you know. So Jason Owa here is a good pick. So is Joseph Osai. So it's between these two. Truthfully, I think you get a little bit more roundedness with Owa there at the end. And so yeah, that's the my first mock draft. It was a little rough. I had a few more trades in there that I took out, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions or if you guys have anything that I should change, let me know. Leave it in the comments below. It's fun, and at the end of the day, it's just one person's thoughts and theories on what professional scouters and managers are going to do for a team, right? These are always fun. I will have to do another one in the next week, so I'm excited for that. And that's gonna be it for me. Y'all take it easy. I love y'all. Peace.